The United Steelworkers thought everything was well when they defeated the crazy bird lady. But alas, newcomers have come to the end of the rainbow. The frickin' leprechauns have come to take back their gold. So once again, here I am, xBenv0lio, playing as the United Steelworkers of America, aka Norsca. I mean, you know, it's the less popular name, obviously. Against RobRoy, playing as the Dwarves. So let's quickly take a look at what my army build is this time, because it's slightly different. Except I do have Wulfric again. I'm liking his debuffs and offensive spells against enemy lords, and also that fighter die buff. And you know, he's just got lots of skulls. I think he likes skulls. You know, something gives me that impression. So yeah, so I've got Wulfric. What else have I got here? I've got in a front line here in the woods, hiding in the woods, is the Marauder Champions with great weapons. And I wanted to hide in the woods because I thought there might be some artillery fire, but I'm about to find out. They can see me still. They can see me. So I've got Marauder Champions with great weapons. I want that armor piercing against the Dwarves in case he's got Iron Breakers. I find having a lot of armor piercing against Dwarves is always useful. So Marauder Champions with great weapons, 2 chevrons in them to buff their stats a little bit. One group of them. Marauder Champions, regular Marauder Champions, excuse me, with 2 chevrons, armored and shielded, just to get stuck in with his infantry. There's a cannon shot or something coming in, making me realize that they can see me. They can actually see me. Marauder Champions, more Marauder Champions with great weapons. That's the solid front line. So three champions, 2 great weapons variants, 1 regular shielded variant in the front line, and then Marauder Hunters with throwing axes. So these are ranged units, kind of like my javelins, but they are armor piercing missiles and they're decent melee combat. And so again, that armor piercing value, able to pick off units like Iron Breakers or hammers or other armored units from a distance. I'm pretty sure hammers are armored. Don't quote me on that. Don't play Dwarves much. So yeah, so 2 groups of those in the back line with Wulfric there, and again my Norscan ice trolls, just for causing havoc. If I can get them like involved with infantry, it's always good to have your large monsters caught up with infantry, because the infantry will block up their hitbox a bit, so there'll be less surface area for his units to hit your large units. So, and then standard Marauders with great weapons, 2 chevrons. So I just had enough money. I thought, well, I'll throw them in too for more armor piercing, some cheap armor piercing, and I've got a Frostworm, which is like, I mean, it's a cool unit, but like they just reskinned a Chaos Dragon with blue stuff, and I was a little disappointed at that, honestly. I thought they could have done something a little more creative, but still, it's basically a dragon. Armor piercing, frostbite, causes terror, has a breath attack like any dragon, 6,120 hit points, so pretty good, and I managed to use it quite fairly effectively. The thing is always picking the right targets. You don't want to dive this thing into a group of anti-large slayers or anything like that when fighting dwarves, because it'll just get melted by slayers, and especially giant slayers. So you want to make sure you're always picking your targets right with these monsters, not putting them into anything with too much anti-large. And again, same flank build with the Norscan Ice Wolves and the Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. I just like that for my flank build, typically with Norsca, another group of them over on that side. So let's take a look at the Dwarven army being played by RobRoy. He's got over here, hiding in the woods, a group of Rangers, Vanguard deployment stock, and fast for a dwarf. So yeah, they're pretty useful. Nice little decent range. Able to move pretty quickly, get around, fire in. Yeah, and the Vanguard deployments, so he can hide them wherever he wants on the map. Well, roughly speaking. He's got some gyrocopters. Look at these little bad boys. They're red. So I think he's Karak Kadrin is like this flag he's got here. So they're armored or anti-infantry and death from above, meaning they can drop bombs. So that's a good choice against my Norscan infantry. And he's got in the back 2 cannons. Oh no, a cannon and a bolt thrower, anti-large. So I would want to keep that out. I don't want him firing. He'll probably pick on my trolls and my dragon with the bolt thrower, having the anti-large bonus. The cannon is armor piercing missiles and anti-large as well, so he's got a lot of anti-large there in the back, so that's not good for my monsters. Other than that, but he's already fired into the woods, because I thought he couldn't see me, but he could see me. He's got these dudes, the Scolder Guard. Ooh, so another regiment of renown, armored, armor piercing missiles and anti-infantry. So he's basically flamethrowers toasting my infantry. Excuse me. Gonna want to keep them away from. Don't want to give them the chance to fire into melee combat, because they'll melt, especially the low tier Marauder units. Slayers, anti-large. dual axes, and yeah, you saw them in my last battle with the lizardmen and the dwarves. Yeah, so they're going to be, again, want to keep my monsters away from them because of their anti-large bonus, and they'll just, they'll also fight right till the end, to the last model. Dwarf warriors with great weapons, got that armored and armor-piercing values, kind of like my marauders with great weapons. So one group of them, and then what's the rest of his front line composed of? Two groups of dwarf warriors, standard. Hammerers. Now our hammers are armored, so I did have that right, and they're armor-piercing, and they're damage dealers. So, ouch, chihuahua. Yeah, look at them. Got those big old hammers. They're nasty. Yeah, gonna do any 5 any armored units. They're gonna be good to throw against my champions there. My marauder champions. Iron breakers, armored and shield, special range weapons, and charge defense against all. Can't attack air. Oh well, whatever. Oh, they have a special ranged weapon, so I think they have like a satchel they throw that explodes, I believe is the variant. So let's take a quick look at these guys. You know, cool little helmets there? Look at them in their little helmets. They think they're gonna go to war. Dwarves. Thunderers. Yeah, armored shield, armor-piercing missiles. So one group of Thunderers in the back. Two groups of Thunderers in the back, excuse me. Coralers with great weapons. So these are great. These guys are cool. Like, they have their little crossbows, but then also their big great axes they can whip over their... whip over them sails and fight in decent melee combat there. And miners with blasting charges. So they got picks. I think some of them there. One's got a candle on his head because it's dark underground. Oh, so cute. Armored, armor-piercing, special range weapons, and good against gates. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I guess they like kind of do their miner stuff and sap gates and stuff in campaign play. Anyway, but that's his army. That's RobRoy's army, and that's my army. And let's roll it. Let's see what's happening. So, Quarrelers firing in. Ow, ow, ow. Ooh, man, these Marauder champions have taken a lot of abuse. Probably sees them as a priority target. I like this player. Like, I think he got a bit butthurt because I beat him a couple times and he didn't respond, but I really enjoyed playing with him. So, if you're out there, RobRoy, I really enjoyed our games. Like, even though I won, I'm sure next time you can probably beat me. I just got lucky this day. Because look at that, he melted my Marauder Champion's great weapons. Great priorities there. He knows they're armor piercing. He's going to get rid of them. It's good. So the Marauder Champions and Marauder with great weapons closing with this group. But he's done a great job of deleting those Marauder Champions. And the Marauder Hunter's already wavering, so it's already looking a bit dodgy for me at the beginning. Marauder Hunters are all firing in against his armored units. The Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes coming in. I managed to get the Wolves into his, come around with my Vanguard, sneak those Wolves into the artillery, which is good. Stop them. Oh, but look at those blasting charges from the Iron Breakers. Ooh. I mean, yeah, doing a decent chunk of damage. I mean, it didn't exactly melt the units, but yeah, now they're wavering, so well played by him, having those in there to defend the artillery. So I did manage to threaten his artillery quite nicely, but he had a great unit in place there to deal with that. The Frostworm coming in and the Trolls, I brought them circling around because I didn't want to bring them directly into his artillery, his anti-large artillery, which ended up being a good idea. So they're coming in here. What are these guys doing? They're just standing there, having like a conversation. You know, why we gotta fight, man? Can't we just, like, have a picnic? Like, I don't know. Can I see your hammer? Sure. Peace and love. Not for long. Oh, the hammer is going after the Trolls. And the Trolls getting in, going for the artillery. The Frostworm into the Thunderers again. So trying to pick those targets well, you know. The Thunderers are a great target for the Frostworm because they don't have anti-large and they're only going to be effective at range. And the Trolls getting into the Thunder. So I really got into the cookie jar with the monsters here. I'm pretty pleased with myself. What can I say? I'm pretty smart sometimes, so I really managed to get right into the cookie jar with the Wolves and the monsters. The Scolder Guard chased off my Wolves, or no, the Horse Masters. I still got this group of Rangers. Don't know what they're doing. I think I might bring the Norsca Ice Wolves. They've rallied, but I haven't had a chance to bring them in. So, lifted off the Ice Dragon. Don't know what the Trolls are doing. Don't want to... Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, this is the Lord he chose. So I've got Wulfric against his Lord Ungrim. Ungrim is armored, armor-piercing, and a melee expert. Oh, let's turn off the info, though, too. Sorry. So, but Wulfric's right in his element, smacking up against the other enemy Lord. Probably going to pop Hunter Champions, if I remember effectively. Yeah, okay, the Norsca Ice Trolls and the Marauder Champions with great weapons, actually at decent health, so It's starting to look pretty decent for me. Getting into that cookie jar with the monsters was great. Bringing in the wolves against the miners over here. They did throw their... The wolves have taken like all the blasting charges. The miners had the blasting charges too. These wolves parked in here. Forgot they were there. I could easily bring them against those thunders. Like, come on. Come on. Come on. That's such a juicy wolf target. But everybody's kind of engaged in this shenanigans right here. Trolls, again, quarrelers. So using monsters effectively is it's the same game like always. It's like picking the right targets for the right units, right? Getting the engagements you want every time, and basically that's a great one for the trolls because the quarrelers are not going to be able to do much against them. From distance, yeah, they'll do a lot of damage because the trolls are a big target. But so now the trolls coming in again here. Boom against the slayers, not ideal, but still the slayers have been depleted enough. I think the trolls are gonna be able to overcome that, and they're puking frost there. That's great. Gonna be able to overcome that anti-large. The marauder champions with great, and surrounded by the hammers. Ooh, just heavy metal, man. Heavy metal. Hammers and wolves and dragons, oh my. The dragon got into the Scolder Guard, got into the miners. Again, perfect place for the dragon. Just stopping that Scolder Guard from getting that anti-infantry bonus. These wolves still parked in the woods. Come on, man. Where's the rest? And my other wolves. Come on. Bring them in already. You killing me here. I forgot they were there. I thought they'd gone. Oh, man. If they're sitting there for the whole game, I'm going to be devastated. Come on. Remember the wolves. But yeah, so that's going well over here. Yeah, the trolls doing okay at decent health. So basically, it's really starting to look like it's me because his lord's largely depleted, whereas Wulfric's still quite healthy. This is a group of Ironbreakers quite healthy, probably the most significant threat, but I just hit them with Sea Fang, so depleted them a little bit, so chunked them down quite nicely. So he's popped a Deadly Onslaught. So this is it. This is it. This is kind of the deciding bit. Have I brought the wolves in yet? Did I? Wait, they're gone. Where are my wolves? Yeah, I got the wolves into his Thunderers finally. Finally pulled that group of wolves out from under the trees and rocking against the Thunderers. The artillery crews routed, trying to get back on their stuff, but the wolves popped onto them. Dealing with the Thunderers, stopping any of that. The dragon coming in because I'm feeling a bit dodgy, as in he's overwhelmed my infantry, so I'm bringing the dragon in. And the Ironbreakers do not have an anti-large bonus, so the dragon's going to be pretty safe from any bonuses from them. So this is going to be the dragon, Wulfric, and the trolls. Just, yeah, this is a pretty hopeless situation if I was a dwarf, man. Like, they're pretty stalwart little midgets, but I would feel pretty hopeless in the face of dragons and trolls and wolves. Yeah. Come from the land of the ice and snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs. Oh no, the thunder is firing in, but I've got wolves. I've got wolves. I've still got wolves. I've still got wolves. I've still got wolves. Yeah. So just keeping things covered, man. Like keeping his distance range units occupied with those wolves and monsters, etc., and getting that nice sneaking into the cookie jar with the trolls, I think, was really what gave me this game. Now Ungrim's gonna get wrecked. He's popped some buffs on himself. I don't know if Wulfric's gonna get a chance to pop 100 champions, or if he already did, but it's pretty hopeless for him now. Ironbreakers, they're fighting pretty hard, but they are losing. And Ungrim is dead, and that's probably gonna be it for them. That's RobRoy. Good game, RobRoy. Like, well played, but I got into your cookie jar. What can I say, dude? Sorry, that's like Indie Pride says cookie jar. I hope that's not copyrighted. Let's take a look. I don't know if I'm allowed to say cookie jar like that. It may be against the rules. So yeah, let's see what did the most work in my army here. The Frostworm 86. The trolls, I think that, and still at full health. Like, I am happy with my troll play. I really trolled him. 167 kills. Like, I'm pretty happy with that. 103, 47 on the wolves. The Marauder Horseman throwing axe is less effective. With the throwing axe is less effective. So one group getting 4 kills, one group getting 55. The Marauder Hunters with throwing axes not as effective as I'd hoped they'd be. I think he managed to just delete them pretty effectively, and I didn't So maybe I won't bring them in that matchup again. Maybe I'll just focus all on infantry and only rely on cavalry with the throwing axes. However, these guys were pretty useful against the gyrocopter. In fact, I didn't see the gyrocopter too much, but I do remember playing. I was having to chuck axes at it a lot to keep it out of the fight. So maybe their low kill count is because a lot of the time they were focused on his gyrocopter, which it looks like I did manage to bring down. Yeah, down significantly. He kept routing, coming back in. 106 kills on the Marauder Champions with the Great Weapons. This is the group that got melted. They only got 9 kills, so they got melted by his ranged fire. Marauder Champions, 87 kills, 18 kills on the Marauder Great Weapons, and 41 kills on Wolfric. So pretty good. Like, the Trolls and the Dragon did great work for me. The Dragon almost got killed, sadly, but for most of the time it was used pretty effectively, if I do say so myself. The Miners are his healthiest unit. What got the most kills? 92 kills on the Cannon, 42 on the Bolt Thrower. 23 on the Scolder Guard, because I managed to keep them occupied. They didn't get to fire into my infantry. The Thunderers, and you can kind of see what units I managed to lock down, is the Thunderers, and Thunderers only got 9 kills and 17 kills respectively. Whereas his infantry, the Hammers got 64. Slayers got 80, excuse me. The Ironbreakers 21. 21 on the Rangers, 41 on the Quarrelers with the Great Weapons, 15 on the Great Weapons Dwarf Warriors, and 5 and 5 on the Dwarf Warriors. So yeah, so he did bring a wider build, but yeah, just I managed to get things in the right place at the right time, and yeah, that's right. That's what I got. Bringing home another win for the boys back home. Holding on to the hot stuff at the land at the end of the rainbow with the United Steelworkers of America. All right, keep it real, guys.